Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a very special conversation lined up. One that I believe will touch many of you. We're going to talk about something that almost everyone struggles with at some point in their life. How to balance study and work. Whether you are a student trying to earn while learning, or someone working full-time while continuing your education, this conversation is for you. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for being here. And just a small reminder, 99.4% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. So if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Alright, let's get into it. And I'm so glad to have Sophia with me today.
Thank you, James. I'm really happy to be here. And I know this topic is something so many people deal with every single day. It can feel overwhelming, stressful, and sometimes even impossible. But I believe that with the right mindset and practical strategies, anyone can find a balance between study and work. So let's share our experiences and help our viewers discover ways to manage it all calmly and effectively. James, I think the first thing we need to acknowledge is how incredibly challenging it is to juggle work and study. I remember back when I was working part-time while taking evening classes. Some days, I would leave work exhausted. And the last thing I wanted to do was open a textbook. Assignments would pile up, deadlines seemed impossible, and I constantly felt like I was failing at both. It's easy to feel trapped in this cycle. But I want our viewers to know that feeling overwhelmed doesn't mean you're weak. It simply means you're human. And it means you need guidance and structure to navigate through this.
You're absolutely right, Sophia. That feeling of being pulled in different directions is something almost everyone experiences. The key is not to fight the overwhelm, but to understand it and respond with intention. It's not about perfection, it's about creating a rhythm that allows you to move forward, even when it feels like there's too much on your plate. One of the most important lessons I have learned in balancing work and study is the power of time management. It's not just about having a calendar or making lists. It's about knowing what truly deserves your attention at any given moment. I always recommend breaking your day into blocks, specific hours for study, specific hours for work, and even small pockets of rest. This way, you create a structure that your mind can follow, and it reduces that constant feeling of chaos.
Yes, James, that structure makes a huge difference. Even when I didn't feel motivated, having a plan in place allowed me to take action without overthinking. Sometimes, just starting with a small task like reading one chapter or answering a few emails can create momentum that carries you through the rest of the day. James, another huge challenge I faced while balancing study and work was dealing with distractions. It wasn't just the phone or social media. It was the constant noise in my mind, the pressure of deadlines, and the fear that I might fall behind. I remember sitting down to study and feeling like my brain had too many tabs open, everything demanding attention at once. It was overwhelming, and some days I felt like giving up entirely. But what helped me was learning to create a focused environment. I started to set small boundaries, like turning off notifications, having a quiet space dedicated to study, and telling myself that for a certain number of hours, work emails could wait. Surprisingly, this calm focus not only increased my productivity, it also reduced my stress, because suddenly I could see progress. The assignments that once seemed impossible now felt manageable, and the work I was doing didn't feel like it was eating away at my entire life.
I completely relate, Sophia. Distractions are everywhere, and the mind often feels pulled in multiple directions. I've found that treating focus like a muscle is essential. You have to train it consistently, starting small and building endurance. Sometimes, I would set just 20 minutes of pure study time without interruptions, and then take a short break. Over time, those 20 minutes turned into an hour, then two. It's the small, repeated efforts that allow you to regain control, rather than waiting for a perfect, distraction-free day, because those rarely happen. Learning to focus despite chaos is a skill that will serve you in every area of life, not just in balancing work and study. One thing I'll always emphasize is the importance of prioritization. Not every task is equally urgent or important. When I was balancing work and classes, I learned to ask myself each morning, which 3 things today will have the biggest impact? Those became my focus. Everything else either got scheduled later or eliminated entirely. This approach creates a sense of control, because instead of being pulled in 10 different directions, you focus on what truly matters. I remember a week where, but by identifying the critical tasks and committing to them fully, I not only completed everything on time, I also gained confidence in my ability to manage pressure. Prioritization doesn't make life easy, but it makes it manageable.
Yes, and I think it also teaches discipline. Once you know what truly matters, it becomes easier to say no to things that waste your time. Social events, distractions, unnecessary tasks, they don't disappear, but you learn to protect your energy for what counts. And over time, that discipline transforms your productivity into a habit. So balancing work and study becomes a natural rhythm instead of a constant struggle. James, we also need to talk about stress. Many people underestimate how much working and studying simultaneously can affect mental health. I remember nights when I would lie in bed thinking about everything I had to do, and my heart would race. That constant pressure can be damaging if ignored. I learned the hard way that self-care isn't optional, it's essential. Even small acts like taking a short walk, meditating for 10 minutes, or having a proper meal can drastically improve your focus and mood. Your brain and body are your greatest assets, and neglecting them only makes the balance harder. For our viewers, remember, managing work and study isn't just about schedules and tasks. It's about taking care of yourself so you can sustain your efforts over the long term.
Absolutely. Sophia, I have seen so many people burn out because they push too hard without breaks. The irony is, taking time to rest actually improves efficiency. I like to call it strategic rest, a purposeful pause, not wasted time. And for those watching, incorporating self-care doesn't need to be complicated. Even 5 minutes of mindful breathing or a short stretch can reset your energy and focus. Balance isn't about working yourself to exhaustion, it's about sustainable progress. One practical tip that helped me immensely was learning to use time-saving strategies. For instance, doing all reading for one subject in one sitting, or grouping errands in a single trip. It seems simple, but it creates huge mental clarity. Another approach I used was leveraging technology apps for scheduling, reminders, and tracking tasks. At first, it felt overwhelming, but once I made these small changes, I realized I was saving hours every week. That extra time gave me the breathing room to focus on both work and study, without constant panic.
Exactly, and adding to that, I also learned to combine small pockets of time with meaningful tasks. Even 15 minutes waiting for a bus could become a moment to revise flashcards or read an article. The key is intentionality. You don't need massive blocks of free time to make progress. You need focused, deliberate use of the time you already have. It's a mindset shift that transforms what feels impossible into something achievable. James, I think another crucial piece of the puzzle is mindset. It's one thing to manage your schedule, but it's another to maintain motivation when life feels heavy. There were days when I would wake up exhausted from work and wonder if it was worth pushing through another study session. What kept me going was constantly reminding myself of the bigger picture, why I was doing this, what my goals were, and how each small step mattered. I also learned to celebrate tiny victories. Even finishing one assignment or understanding a difficult concept felt like a win. That kind of mindset, focusing on progress rather than perfection, made all the difference. And sometimes, laughing at our own mistakes also helped. like when I accidentally sent a work email full of typos right before a big deadline. Life is serious, but finding those little moments of humor keeps us balanced and sane.
That's so true, Sophia. Motivation is fleeting if it relies solely on excitement, but mindset, the way we interpret challenges and failures, is sustainable. I remind myself daily that every struggle is shaping me for success. And celebrating small wins keeps the journey enjoyable, instead of overwhelming. Adding humor, even in tiny doses, is like a reset button for your energy and focus. It reminds you that you are human, and that life doesn't have to be a constant grind. One thing that really helped me balance work and study was learning to say no. At first, it felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to disappoint anyone or miss opportunities. But I quickly realized that saying yes to everything meant saying no to myself. I had to protect my time, and that meant declining certain social events, extra shifts at work, or volunteering for tasks that would drain my energy. Saying no isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's a recognition that your energy and focus are limited resources, and they must be invested wisely. For anyone trying to juggle work and study, this is one of the most important lessons you can learn early on.
I couldn't agree more. Saying no can feel scary, but it's liberating once you realize it's for your growth. When you prioritize yourself and your goals, you are better equipped to help others in meaningful ways later. It's all about balance, and that balance starts with your own boundaries. Another factor that made a huge difference for me was having a support system, whether it was family, friends, or mentors. Having people who understood my challenges and encouraged me made the journey much easier. They would listen when I felt frustrated, offer advice when I was stuck, or simply cheer me on when I needed motivation. If you're watching this and trying to balance work and study, I encourage you to seek support. Share your struggles with people who care and who lift you up, because going it alone can be exhausting. Support doesn't remove the hard work, but it makes it feel possible.
Absolutely. Sometimes just knowing someone believes in you makes a difference that nothing else can. Encouragement acts like fuel for your determination. And even when you feel like giving up, those words from someone who cares can remind you why you started in the first place. While balancing work and study is about managing the present, it's also about planning for the future. Every hour you spend learning or working is an investment in your life. I always keep a vision of what I want to achieve, whether it's a degree, a career, or personal growth, and I measure each day against that vision. This forward-thinking approach keeps small struggles in perspective. Missing sleep or facing a tough day at work seems less intimidating when you realize it's part of a bigger journey. Planning for the future doesn't remove challenges, but it gives meaning to the effort and makes persistence easier.
Yes, keeping your goals in mind acts like a compass. It's easy to get lost in the daily grind, but when you have a clear picture of where you want to go, even the hard days feel purposeful. And sharing that vision with someone you trust can create accountability, which is another powerful motivator. James, I think it's also important to enjoy the process. Many people are so focused on the end result that they forget to appreciate the growth along the way. Every assignment completed, every skill learned, every challenge overcome is part of your journey. I started taking moments to reflect and feel proud of myself, even for small achievements. That changed everything. Instead of feeling drained, I felt energized. I want our viewers to remember that life isn't just about reaching goals. It's about learning, growing, and finding joy in the steps you take each day.
Exactly. When we shift our focus from the destination to the journey, it becomes less stressful and more fulfilling. Laughter, reflection, and even minor setbacks become part of the story you'll be proud of one day. Embrace each moment and celebrate yourself along the way.
And before we end today's conversation, I want to thank each of you for listening. Balancing work and study is not easy, and I hope our experiences and tips have given you some clarity and encouragement. Remember, every struggle you face is shaping you, and every small effort counts. If you found this conversation helpful, please subscribe to our channel to 99.4% of viewers haven't yet. So join our community today. Share this video with someone who needs motivation, and leave a comment telling us one small step you will take to balance your life this week. Thank you for being here, and never forget that with focus, discipline, and support, you can achieve more than you ever imagined.
Yes, thank you for being with us. Keep moving forward, stay patient, and trust yourself. Every challenge you face today is preparing you for the success of tomorrow. Until next time, stay motivated and take care.